This is Star Model 718. This is going to be my thoughts review on chapter 1019, One Piece, Triceracopter. This was a solid chapter. I'm not going to say it was a great chapter, but it definitely was a solid chapter. I like what how Oda set up everything, how everything was pretty much aligned together. Pretty much we see with the Shonen Jump cover, we have like Luffy dressed as an astronaut. Is that foretelling what Laugh Tale is? Like a lot of us believe Laugh Tale's on the moon. So is the reason why Luffy is dressed as an astronaut because that's gonna be the final part of his journey, right? So let's get into the cover story. Little cover story. It was Jinbei. I guess he summoned the whale shark because they said I believe Jinbei is a whale shark, and we see like the Straw Hats riding the whale shark. Just chilling as a crew, as a family, Nakama type of thing, throughout the ocean. Starting off with this chapter, we see Sanji versus Queen. Queen's, shooting like a barrage of different lasers and stuff like that. Well, not different lasers, but shooting lasers at Sanji. And, Sanji mentions that, what, Frankie would definitely like this. And I'm thinking just with that alone, that's going to be like Frankie's upgrade. So after, like, Sanji defeats Queen, I guess, like, Frankie's going to start looking at some Queen's technology and I guess implement that in his body. So instead of him being stuck using the cola, because the cola has a limited amount. I think he can hold like maybe two liters. It looks like maybe it's 3 liters, but like it's like 2 bottles worth. Let's just say that 2 bottles worth of cola within his person, and he has a limited amount of attacks because that's his fuel, right? So we get into Sasaki versus Jinbei, excuse me, Sasaki versus Frankie. Mainly fight, we see like different attacks, different things being thrown out there. It's weird how Oda is now using more of his imagination and let me explain. Like we know One Piece is very imaginative. He took like real world history, real world science, and different things, and made to this crazy ass story that we know in One Piece. But seeing how Sasaki is able to transform to his hybrid form, and I guess like the frills, I guess of the Triceratops you would call it, like the shield is able to spin around his neck, and I guess it makes sense because if we look at somebody like Chopper, how Chopper's able to do like Monster Point and then use a Rome Ball, and he's able to like augment different parts of his body to I guess like to fit different situations, and even like with Kaku, when he first ate his devil fruit and he became the giraffe zone user, he was able to like manipulate different parts of his body. I guess like make more parts more human, more parts more animal, more parts more hybrid mix. So maybe Oda's like in his bag was like, what I'm doing with the zones, they have more free will to like manipulate their bodies. So I thought that was pretty cool how Sasaki was able to like fly. Weird, but you just see like Oda's gears in his head turning like very, very, very imaginative. Let me see. He did the Tricera bullet, which I thought was pretty cool. He pulled out a sword called something. Not Katakuri. I'm saying Katakuri in my head, but it's not Katakuri. But it's weird because if I remember right, the sword is actually named after Dr. Vegapunk's island that he's from. So it's pretty much named after his hometown. So is that like some kind of lost technology from Dr. Vegapunk? Because we know like they said his intelligence is like 500 years advanced compared to like the current technology of the One Piece world. So was that something like the world government or like Sasaki just got their hands on it and he's like, what, let me just use this, implement this in my attack scheme because he's able to like fly around and things like that. Let me see. A little bit talking here and there. We see a panel with Zoro. Zoro was talking to Miyagi, telling him like, before you administer the drug in me, remove the bandage and things like that. But this was like a pretty straightforward chapter. Well, the main meat of it, I would say. It was just pretty much seeing Sasaki, Frankie attacking each other. Now, going to Frankie, right? We knew like Frankie was kind of in over his head because Sasaki seemed like he was a stronger opponent than Frankie. So we kind of was trying to figure out what Frankie would do to actually beat this guy. And I thought it was pretty cool that Frankie used, his intelligence. I guess he realized when he used the Franken sword, when he first gave him the V slash and he gave him like that cut across the chest. And I guess when he was attacking him and punching him, because Oda was skipping over a lot of fight. So maybe Frankie was trying he probably slashed at his hide and realized that, you know what, I was able to scar his belly, right? So his belly's his weak spot, and when I try to slash at his hide didn't really take any damage. So maybe like that part that Oda skipped over, we'll probably get an anime. More than likely, we'll get an anime because the anime has been filling in a lot of the missed parts and stuff like that that Oda skipped over. But I thought it was pretty cool how Frankie is able to do like the Gao cannon, which is from the Sunny and things like that. And then when Sasaki started putting like more pressure on him, like you see how Sasaki was pretty much stronger than Frankie. So when it came to like pure strength and I guess pure defense, Sasaki had him beat. But Frankie used his intelligence in the sense of like he had used pretty much he sacrificed General Frankie and used General Frankie as like a diversion, and he was able to hit him with a radical beam. But now the reason why like I'm flying through this review because when I seen the fight with Sasaki versus Frankie, I don't think it's over. And I know a lot of people in the community feel like this is the end of the fight because Oda's trying to rush the story and he's just trying to get to like the main parts, which I was gonna be like the Luffy versus Kaido. The reason why I don't feel this fight's over, we seen Uzi took a whole Mesa beam, right? Or Mesa cannon, I believe, from Big Mom. Big Mom is stronger than Frankie. I feel Uzi's weaker than Sasaki. And she was able to take that, and it literally took her to get hit by that and attacked by Nami and Zeus to actually drop her. Well, we don't even know if she's dropped, but attack like that. If Oda writes it that Sasaki's down for the count, I won't be too upset because that's Oda's story and this is how he want to illustrate it. But at the same time, I have to kind of call like a little bit of bullshit because if Sasaki is supposed to be like the captain of like the armored defense corps, she have higher defense. But then again, it's like Frankie hit his weak spot. So I don't know. Like I said, with the fight was a little toss up, and Frankie fights are kind of like not one sided, but they kind of like quick and to the point. Like there's no like they're not really long drag type of fights. So like for the fight itself, it was a decent fight. It seemed like Frankie did struggle. It seemed like Sasaki was putting a lot of pressure on Frankie. Like the fight itself, I would give it like maybe a like a 7 out of 10 for the fight. Now the better part of the chapter, I would say like my favorite part of the chapter, which I figure is everybody's favorite part of the chapter, Yamato versus Kaido. We get to see Yamato's hybrid form, right? Now, a lot of people were saying that it's supposed to be Byakko, because in Japanese mythology, the white tiger is supposed to go against the Azure dragon, which the Azure dragon which I have on this arm, and then the white tiger I have on this arm. But what a lot of people don't know is like with the Chinese mythology, instead of it being a white tiger, it's something called a Kirin, and I'll probably put a picture of it somewhere over here, whatever, around here somewhere. But pretty much what a Kirin is like to me, it's like a horse, deer type of dragonoid thing. It looks like it have hooves, like a deer and a horse, but it has scales and have like a dragon like type of face, but it has like deer horns. So it's like I'm gonna say it's like a chimera, but it pretty much is like a mythical, magical creature like the white tigers in like Japanese lore. But then I seen that and I was like, Oda could go with that because that will be like fitting because like I said, the blue dragon Byakko or blue dragon with the white Kirin. But it kind of remind me of and I probably aging myself. If you guys remember Princess Mononoke, the deer god that the guy end up stealing the head of and end up causing like the whole catastrophe in Princess Mononoke, she kind of remind me of the deer god. That's how I was looking at like, is it that mythical deer god? Like I don't know. I'm not too familiar with any mythical deer gods in any culture. If there is, like you guys can tell me in the comments down below or anything like that. But if it's not the Kirin or Keelan, I know like the spelling that I seen of it was Kilin, almost like Krillin, but it's Keelan. And I see another spelling where it was Qilin, Kirin type of thing, like Keelan and Kirin, different spellings. But yeah, the design is it's cute. I'm not a furry, but the design is cute. It kind of reminded me of Wanda and Sulong form, just with like the little deer antlers. But I'm really pushing that it's a Karen. Oh, matter of fact, even better, Sasuke's move when he had Karen, Lightning Karen, that, if you guys are familiar with Naruto. So I'm thinking it's a Karen. If she's able to summon like clouds and things like that, like for like mobility and like flight and things, and I think they also have the ability to control storms. I'm not 100%. I believe they have to control storms. If she's able to pull out like lightning attacks and things like that, then more like she is a Karen. But was it not a bad chapter? Very solid. Um, it's kind of quick. It was a quick read. But like I said, pretty damn good. The story is moving forward. Oda, trying to wrap the story up. For me, I had to give this chapter, I was gonna say an 8, but it wasn't like heavy on like the story progression. Like it gave us some story progression and things like that. Because we got past Sasaki, and now Frankie, is a free hand. He could not help the rest of the allied forces. I gotta give this 7.5. Real good, solid chapter. 7.5. Let me know what you think. Like, do you agree with my review? Do you think it was lower? Do you think it's higher? You know what I would say. Star Mo 718. Let's have a conversation, y'all. I'm out.